So the Labour lies and deception have started already.
£22 billion black hole was a complete lie. The Treasury and OBR, the buck stops there. The facts are, it didn't exist.
Potentially announcing that you're going to give £600 million in military aid to Ukraine after you announced that you're going to cut fuel allowance for elderly people.
The man sits there and gives all these promises of a brighter future. But so far, the future is dark for this country.
The absolute balls on Keir Starmer to turn up where people are grieving to get his photo opportunity. Him and Yvette Cooper. The come on refugees, come on you people, come here for a great life. Come and get your free hotel, your free food. Come and get some shelter.
They lost control of immigration. We had nearly 1 million people come into this country, had an open borders experiment.
The biggest political con man of our age.
They promised change. We got déjà vu. Labour swept in with talk of fairness, freezes and fixing Britain. But fast forward to now, and the promises vanished. Starmer said he'd freeze bills, protect services, stand with the people. But now, it's lies, lies, and more lies. From council tax hikes to NHS chaos, the so-called alternative is looking a lot like the same old mess. Brits are waking up to the fact that red isn't all that different from blue, and TikTok is letting it rip. Today on Brit Rants, we're diving into the backlash, the broken promises, and the fury flooding the comments section. This is where we don't do party loyalty, we do receipts. Subscribe if you're done being lied to in a different colour tie.
Keir Starmer said yesterday he wants to reduce immigration significantly, like Rishi Sunak and everyone before him. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the super rich pay our government to keep immigration high, to employ workers at cheaper cost than the natives. Keir Starmer's simply being a chameleon. He praised immigration his entire life.
We welcome migrants.
Right, and the whole United Kingdom is better because of immigration, and I think, if I'm honest, the Labour Party's been a bit scared of making the positive case for immigration for quite a number of years, and I think we need to turn that round.
He will continue fulfilling higher-ups by printing money, so the rich people that own assets become richer and immigration will stay high. People say he's doing a bad job or he's stupid, but in reality he's succeeding. Because he's not working for you, he's working to defend in the rich and on his employers and donors who fill his pockets. And pretty much every single business owner, especially at a high level, know this, to be true. It's 100% a fact.
This is for the new Labour government. If you're not the new Labour government, you can potentially scroll on. Potentially announcing that you're going to give £600 million in military aid to Ukraine after you announced that you're going to cut fuel allowance for elderly people. Something that you cannot give an impact assessment to, and that you said in 2019 that could result in the death of elderly people. Potentially not the best move. Potentially not very wise. Potentially you need new PR. Potentially you need some coordination. Just a thought.
The absolute balls on Keir Starmer to turn up where people are grieving to get his photo opportunity. Him and Yvette Cooper. The come on refugees, come on you people, come here for a great life. Come and get your free hotel, your free food. Come and get some shelter. Here's our daughters. Slaughter at will. And then let 90,000 more come in. You lay a wreath knowing that there's another 90,000 of them about to be given amnesty. That there's already hundreds of thousands of people in this country that, given an opportunity, will spit in our face. That are given hotels, care, attention, medical treatment. They're given warmth, whilst walking around and seeing the poverty, the breakdown of our society where children, some not even with a mattress to sleep on, aren't getting food. Parents doing 3 jobs to make ends meet. Pensioners who can't even afford to heat themselves at night because Labour has decided to take away their rights to the winter fuel payment because they might be slightly above the limit to get benefits. And the balls that you can just go there, offer condolences. I think Mr. Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper and everybody in the Labour Party and everybody in the Conservative Party, you guys should all quit. There should be a revolution in this country to get rid of all of you. But again, no. The British people were too nice. We can't vote you out because we're stupid. Because you dangle carrots in front of the people that don't want to read your manifesto, don't want to look at the history books of exactly what you do. We follow these silly lines of humanitarian access for these people while our daughters are slain. I don't know what to do as a parent. If we stand up and fight, if we go out on the streets, it'd be the only time you use a truncheon, the only time that all of a sudden the police will arrive and hit us. When anybody of a minority fights, anybody sings a song that might upset somebody else, you let it go. But the British people, we stand with a flag and we're hit with a baton. This country is going into hell. And as a father of 3 beautiful children, I have no idea right now of how we get out of this.
Now, did anyone see old dickhead Starmer's New Year's Eve speech yesterday? Obviously, he's reading from the teleprompter. But everything he's saying, yet again, is more bullshit coming out of his mouth. And just lie after lie, yet again. Have a look for yourselves. Tell me what you think.
No, there's still so much more to do. And that for many people, it's hard to think about the future when you spend all of your time fighting to get through.
You spend all our money.
So I want to be clear. Until you can look forward and believe in the promise and the prosperity of Britain again, then this government will fight for you.
No, you don't.
A fight for change that will define this year, next year, and indeed every waking hour of this government.
Lie, lie, lie.
We have a clear plan for change. 1.5 million new homes.
Lies.
Restoring the dream of home ownership. Children starting school ready to learn.
What?
A more secure energy system. Waiting lists cut dramatically. Immigration reduced.
Bollocks.
Neighbourhood police tackling antisocial behaviour in every community. And more cash in your pocket wherever you live.
More cash in our pockets? Where the is this money? Because as far as I'm concerned, they've taken money away from us. And children ready to learn and start school. They're already ready to learn and start school. The trouble is the education system is shit and broken. The man sits there and gives all these promises of a brighter future. But so far, the future is dark for this country. Everything that man says is completely dishonest and just lies. And just like back in July, when he became Prime Minister, he started his term lying. Now he's starting 2025 lying. Let me know what you all think about his speech in the comments.
Oh, well, the gift that keeps on giving. Labour Party, anti-corruption minister, Tulip, resigns because she's had some corruption allegations against her. So if it isn't full of nonsense, it's now full of corrupt anti-corruption ministers. How much longer do you reckon this clown government has got? I mean, it's literally daily. Can you remember when he got in and who was it? It was one of the girls said, the adults are in charge now. You couldn't make this up. The anti-corruption minister has had to resign because of corruption allegations. I can't wait for all of the wokies to go, yes, but she had a family to feed. Oh, you can't make this up. Bloody hell. I can't wait for tomorrow. This is making me a killing on TikTok, this group of...
So the Labour lies and deception have started already. Keir Starmer has come out and said that they didn't realise how bad of a position the country was in when they vowed to not raise any taxes. However, we know that this is absolute bollocks because they had full clarity of all the books prior to the election when they built their manifesto. So now coming out and saying that they didn't realise the situation they're in is complete and utter nonsense. So what are they likely to increase? It's looking very likely like it'll be a council tax increase, an inheritance tax increase, and a capital gains tax increase, as if council tax in my area isn't already enough. And if I'm honest, there's potholes in the road everywhere. What are they actually even spending the money on? They can't say that they didn't know about the mess the country was in already, because Rachel Reeves even told the Financial Times back in June that they did not need to win the election to know how much of a mess the country was in. So if you knew how much of a mess the country was already in, why didn't you tell us you were going to raise taxes in your manifesto? Why are you telling us now you've been elected? Make sure you follow on this one, because I'm going to make sure that I bring you up to date with anything as it comes. And not only that, let me know what you think about these tax rises in the comments, and I'll get back to you.
Name and shame the Labour MP that was seen double fist pumping in celebration over the cut to winter fuel payments being passed through Parliament. You've heard that right. A Labour MP has been seen double fist pumping the air in celebration. Celebrating that pensioners are going to possibly die, thousands of them, from their decision. Or to just give train drivers more of a pay rise on already a salary that's way above the national average. This should speak volumes to every single person in the UK that is below the pension age. If you're 18, 28, 38, 48, 58, you should be worried, because this perfectly shows that no matter how much you pay into the system, you contribute to their system, you pay all the tax, you're law abiding, you stick by the rules, you contribute to the country growing and being built, just to be completely over in your last couple of days, your years, your months, your weeks. They will still come for you and take money off you, no matter how much they want, when they want, whenever they want. They will come for you in your last stretch of life. Absolute scumbags. Take the money off of us. There could have been so many other ways that they could have accommodated this and worked out the finances so they don't have to take off the pensioners. They don't have to give the train drivers this money for one. Stop giving money away for war in Ukraine. Literally pissing in the wind with $3 billion a year. You have to just take the money off of us, the working lot. We'll figure it out how to make more money. The old pensioners can't go out and work for it anymore, can they? They shouldn't be having to worry about money at this stage in their life when they've paid in so much money. And they should be focused on spending time with their loved ones, making memories in their last moments of life, their last stretch of life. Not worrying about are they going to freeze to death because the government's taken more money off them, who they've paid the government all their life and time and sacrificed so much. Literally fucking these lot, absolute bottom feeders, for sake.
I'm determined to put money back into those people that work's pockets. Labour Party will freeze council tax this year.
Rip up that council tax bill. Rip it up. You don't need it. I'm going to freeze it this year.
Vote Labour. We'll scrap your council tax bill for this year. If that's the case, then why is my council tax bill this? Scrapping that, are ya? Don't think so, because your pockets are lined.
You're going on your nice little holidays, are you? Go back to your little 5-bed fucking mansion.
I'm gonna scrap it. Fuck it up. You chat so much shit, mate. I can fucking smell it. I can fucking smell your shit that's coming out your fucking mouth, let alone your fucking ass. Just fucking lies after lies after lies, and it's all fucking take. Just want to point out, I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's because I keep having the piss taken out of me and having my money stolen. Okay.
They lost control of immigration. We had nearly 1 million people come into this country, had an open borders experiment.
The biggest political con man of our age. During the Labour leadership campaign, he defended free movement. He also said this about immigration when he was looking for the support of Labour members to become leader.
I think Conservatives have created this hostile environment, whether it's Windrush, whether it's the general response to immigration, or whether it's just the way the Home Office make their decisions. It's based on this idea that somebody's trying to cheat rather than actually based on an open, welcoming environment. I think we should welcome people wherever they come from, thank them for their contribution, and see them as part of our families, our communities, and our society, and embrace that. I mean, London is an amazingly diverse and fantastic place for it, and the whole United Kingdom is better because of immigration. And I think, if I'm honest, the Labour Party's been a bit scared of making a positive case for immigration for quite a number of years, and I think we need to turn that round and broaden it out and make sure that people feel absolutely welcome here.
Now, Keir Starmer reneged on absolutely everything pretty much he stood for in that election. Taxing the rich, to public ownership, to scrapping tuition fees, to putting human rights at the heart of British foreign policy. Keir Starmer is a charlatan. He's a man with no principles, no moral core, who stands for nothing other than advancing his own career. That guy wanted to be Prime Minister for the hell of it. And he will throw anyone under a bus in the pursuit of power. Shame on that man. Shame on his government. And I've no doubt that Keir Starmer's eventual downfall from power will be a very, very bitter experience for him.
£22 billion black hole was a complete lie. The Treasury and OBR, the buck stops there. The facts are, it didn't exist. They scraped the barrel to find just 9.5 billion. So Labour keep banging on and trying to blame the previous party that they made a £22 billion black hole when they didn't. Okay, we already know that the Labour Party were a cause of 9 billion of that, because you saw the blank faces when I was having the interviews. So the facts are there. Okay, that's already been proven. Okay, 9 billion of the supposed £22 billion. So if the OBR of now going through that report have officially said that 9.5 billion, and that's them scraping the barrel, is all that they can find, that means, like I say, 9 billion of that we already know was Labour before they were even in party, and 0.5 billion was the previous party. Meaning, all that upset, worry, distress, all these tax rises that Calculator Reeves and Keir Starmer have said they've had to address and look into because they're looking at the figures to try and make the country work, in my opinion, just all need to be completely stopped and reversed. 100%. I can't see how this party can continue anymore knowing that there's been lie after lie, deception after deception, because the proof and the evidence and the facts are there. The buck really does stop with the Treasury and the OBR investigating that report and now saying, like I say, only 9.5 billion, meaning 0.5 billion, like I said, was the previous party. We already know that 9 billion was caused by Labour before they were in power. So stop banging on about £22 billion black holes, because you've now been caught out officially, legally. So now what's going to happen? People, let me know. Fill your boots in there in the comments. We've got him now. He needs to resign. The whole party needs to step down. And we can see how this country can move forward.
Keir Starmer says he is proud of Britain's history of free speech. Let that sink in. As he clashes with JD Vance over praying at abortion clinics during Oval Office meeting with Trump. They got arrested. People got arrested for praying silently across the road, not even saying words or anything. People got arrested for that. There's also the fact that people were calling the Southport killer a terrorist, and then they got arrested for that. There was also the people saying that they didn't want their children to be, you know, R-word and everything like that, and they got arrested for that. People have spoken out about the Labour MP, and police turn up to the woman's door. This was only 2 days ago, saying that the one that was involved in the WhatsApp group. But yeah, all right, kid. Who the is this guy trying to fool? And like, the newspapers reported this, like, you can see the video. The newspapers report this as if it's like, oh, Keir Starmer's showing his guts finally. It's like, no, JD Vance literally said about it, and he went, no, actually, we do have free speech. We do. Well, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it for certain groups. I'm not seeing it for the normal British citizens that are just tired and sick of being f***ed over every day. But yeah, all right, we've got free speech. All right, mate.
Do you believe the general election in 2025 was won on lies? Do you believe that when a political party makes promises during a general election that they must keep them? Do you believe if those promises are broken that a criminal investigation should be launched? The general election in 2025 was not an honest general election. It was the only general election I can remember where every promise made was a lie. A lie that Labour knew would get the people on side but would not deliver. Have we now had enough of the lies? Is it not time the police admitted that the last general election was fraud? And Keir Starmer and the Labour Party should be investigated. If you feel cheated like me that a political party was voted in on lies, then please post your comments below and let me know if you are going to vote Labour in the local elections in May.
Wages are going up higher than
More lies.
in a long time that's happened. So for families across the country, they're better off under Labour. This is the biggest boost for the cost of living in a very, very long time. What we're doing
Really?
is picking up and fixing the mess that they left.
Ready?
Inflation under them 11%. 22 billion.
There we go.
A mini budget that made us the laughing stock of the world, and they want to give lectures on the economy to us. No, thank you very much.
I'm absolutely astounded that he can still sit there and try and use the £22 billion black hole, even though the Treasury come out and clearly said there was not a £22 billion black hole. Now, I'm one of those families that are currently living under the Labour government, just like many others are, and I don't feel better off. Do you? It's just more constant lies and bullshit coming out of that man's mouth. Yes, there's no denying that the Conservatives completely ruined us as well. But since Labour have been running this country, what have they actually done for the UK? He sits there and says that the Conservatives made the UK the laughing stock of the world. I do not think so somehow. That is you, Starmer, that's done that. Everyone is laughing at us right now. Think about it. The Conservatives haven't put anyone in jail for hurty words. Make no mistake, I do not support the Conservatives in any way, but they're not the ones that have come out with new laws that support one group of people more than it does another. All of the Labour government are complete dictators. And the worst bit about this is there are still many people out there that believe the bullshit that comes out of their mouths and continues to support them, even though you can clearly see the whole country right now is struggling and we are on our knees. Know what you lot think about all this in the comments.
Something seems a bit suspicious. Border security, asylum and immigration bill, a government bill. Now, Starmer and his mates would hope you'd look at this and assume that border security, we're going to give them more power, they're going to be able to smash the gangs more, we're going to put a stop to this. That's Starmer in his own words. However, people have been looking through this bill and they've realised there's a key thing that's missing from it. Now, back in 2023, the Tories brought in a thing where if you came over to the country illegally, you then wouldn't be able to become a British citizen. You wouldn't be able to. So that would hopefully stop the incentive for people coming over. However, this bill does not have that. It doesn't have that at all. So what does that mean? Well, it means that this gives people more incentive to try and cross the border so that they can then become a British citizen, which then, who would you vote for allowing this? If someone has put this in and allowed you to come and finally become a citizen, who would you be voting for then? It's as if you can import your voters or something. I guess he's getting ready for the workforce of people that he's, because he's aiming for more technology in Britain. We're meant to become the next, what is it? I forget the name of it. Silicon Valley. But yeah, it's a plan and it's terrifying. And people need to be aware of this, right? It's importing voters. It's as simple as that. And it's going to give people more incentive to try and cross the border. So he's not doing anything. He's made it worse. Remember that.
What do Paul Clark, Eric Joyce, Sam Gould, Dan Norris, Tom Dewey and Ivor Kaplan all have in common? They weren't just Labour politicians. They were arrested, charged or convicted of vile crimes. And no one in the mainstream media wants to talk about it. You're politically incorrect, common sense commentator. And today, I'm asking a very simple question. Why are so many Labour politicians being arrested for X crimes, including offences involving children? This isn't about political point scoring. This is about patterns, because when this many cases are linked to one party, the so-called party of compassion, you start to wonder if their idea of compassion just doesn't apply to victims. Let's start with Paul Clark, former Labour MP for Gillingham, arrested by the National Crime Agency in 2021, pleaded guilty in 2022 to making and distributing indecent images of children, sentenced in 2023 to 28 months in prison. Oh, and this was after serving as a government minister. Let that sink in. Then there's Eric Joyce, Labour MP for Falkirk, guilty in 2020 of possessing an indecent image of a child, suspended sentence, community service, still out and about like nothing ever happened. Dan Norris, a current Labour MP, arrested in 2025. Charges: grape, child X offences, child abduction, still under investigation, but suspended from the party. Tom Dewey, former Hackney Labour councillor, guilty of possessing indecent images of children in 2023. Sam Gould, senior Labour aide to West Streeting, admitted in 2025 to indecent exposure, including to a 13-year-old girl. Ivor Kaplan, another ex-Labour MP, arrested this year for online indecent communications with a child. Stephen Carnell, Labour agent, jailed in 2011 for hoarding over 12,000 child abuse images, and Paul Tweed, former Lord Mayor, gone down in 2024 for the same thing. Now, before the apologists roll in with their "not all Labour MPs" lecture, of course it's not all, but ask yourself this: why is there such a consistent stream of arrests, charges and convictions? Why does it seem like year after year another one falls? And where's the outrage? Where's the BBC documentary? Where's the Guardian headline screaming about Labour's problem with predatory men? No, instead it's silence, swept under the rug. While the Labour Party lectures you about morality, diversity and protecting the vulnerable. Give me a break. This is the same Labour Party that covered up the grooming gang scandals for years. Because they didn't want to look racist. They let thousands of British girls get abused, and now they can't even keep predators out of their own ranks. You'd think a party that prides itself on being the voice of the vulnerable would take this seriously. But they don't, because the truth is, they're more interested in protecting their image than protecting children. So, I'll ask it again, why are so many Labour politicians being arrested for crimes like this? And why does the media act like it's just a coincidence? If it were the Tories, there'd be a Netflix series by now. If it were Reform UK, we'd never hear the end of it. But when it's Labour, it's under review, sensitive, or just swept quietly into a courtroom with no cameras. Share this, talk about it, click follow, and break the silence, because if we let this carry on in silence, we're complicit. If Labour wants to rule this country, they better start cleaning house, and if they won't, then it's time to vote for someone who will.
But the key point is, they said they weren't going to do it. When people look at politicians and say, I can't believe a word you say, there's a hard and fast example of a Labour politicians in a general election that was only some 4 months ago saying they weren't going to do one thing, and then the first time they get the opportunity to break that promise, they break it by lifting national insurance. The most cruel policy that has come in the last 2 to 3 months was the withdrawal of the winter fuel allowance for pensioners, which even Labour's own modelling shows that there'll be 4,000 premature deaths in the pensioner community. Can you imagine bringing a policy forward that you know will kill 4,000 people prematurely? It's a bit like going to a town the size of Cowbridge and saying everyone in this town at the end of this policy will be dead. But they don't have to be dead, because if we keep the policy in place, the winter fuel allowance will carry on and people will be able to keep their homes warm, and they won't have to make the choice between eating and heating. But they brought that in to try and make themselves look tough when they took control in Westminster in July. And they didn't tell anyone in their manifesto they were going to do it. No one expected them to do it, but they wanted to look macho in front of the public, they did. But it's the pensioner community that'll suffer because of it. And national insurance, they spent the whole election campaign talking that they weren't going to raise national insurance, they weren't going to raise income tax, and they weren't going to raise VAT. And now employers are having to pay increased national insurance. Now, maybe people on this podcast, their eyes are glazing over and thinking, what the hell is he talking about, national insurance? Well, here's a typical example I can give you of the impact it would have on people's lives. Our local GP surgery wrote to me yesterday and said that the increase on national insurance will cost them £33,000 in a year. They now have withdrawn a job application that they were looking to fill for a vaccination nurse because they have to pay that extra £33,000 to the national insurance subs.
So much for a new kind of politics. Same spin, same silence, same slap in the face for working Brits. If this is what change looks like, no wonder people are fuming. The country's not asking for miracles, just honesty, decency, and a break from the lies. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have Labour let you down? Or was this always the plan? Hit subscribe, because the rant isn't over, not even close.